Hello again, everyone. John Flynn here from Flynn Real Estate in Southern Ontario, here to give you my honest and professional opinion about the Canadian housing market. And this week we're going to talk about the budget and what it was in the budget and how it's going to affect Canadian home buyers and sellers. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe, thumbs up, share, do what you have to do. But yeah, let's get into this budget and see how it's going to help or hurt Canadian homeowners and buyers. So the good thing was housing was top of the list. It was chapter 1. There was 9 chapters in this budget, and housing was the first thing when the finance minister came out. Housing was the first thing she talked about. So kind of started off right, but let's see how it ended. So they want to, chapter 1, right off the bat, here it is, making housing more affordable. And they talk about a few things in this, but what I took away was the meat of this, or the most important thing that I agree with, would be foreign investors and speculators are buying up homes that should be for Canadians to own. And again, I know that in my area, foreign investors aren't a big deal. But it's speculators and investors that are driving up the market in the last 5 years or so. So one of the things they touched on was that we need more homes. We always need more homes, build more homes. And they say that Canada's below the OECD average. Well, my argument here is the States is actually below us by a little bit, pretty close, but you can see here they're below us. And you look at my old videos, they're probably about $425 to $450 Canadian for the average house in the States. And here we're over 800. So it doesn't hold weight for me saying we need to build more homes. We need to build more homes. Again, it goes back to policy, but thought I would point that out. The main focus, they say there's a number of factors, but the biggest is supply, right? They keep going back to supply. We have a lower number of homes per person than many OECD countries. Increasing our supply will be key to making housing more affordable for everyone. Canada, now read this part, Canada will need to build at least 3.5 million new homes by 2031, so 9-10 years or so. So let's build 3.5 million new homes. Are they still going to cost $900 or $1 million each? Is that affecting affordability? Or are they just building more homes and they all cost $1 million each? Well, again, I don't think that's the issue, building more $1 million homes. I think affordability is the issue. So taking a look at the key ongoing actions that are happening right now, they're talking about $72 billion in financial support. They're on track by 2027, 2028. So let's just give a quick recap. And these are all social things. So and again, this budget, it's got a lot of social programs in it, and that's fine to have social housing, but you got to match it with other initiatives for middle class people or for middle income earners. So more than $42 billion in federal support for the construction and repair of rental housing, affordable housing. Next one down, $15 billion in joint funding with provinces and territories, including the Canada Housing Benefit to provide direct rent assistance. More than $11 billion for community and social housing, $2.7 billion housing for in Indigenous communities, $3 billion in Reaching Home, Canada's homeless strategy. And the last one, the bottom of the list here, is the only one that would apply to, again, the people that I'm kind of targeting today with my videos would be, the middle income earners who are buying homes. They don't need the social assistance per se. They may need help getting their first home, but they don't need the social assistance. Tabling legislation that would implement Canada's first national vacant housing tax on non-Canadian, non-resident owners. So we have one thing at the bottom of the ongoing affairs. So everything besides that last one is going to be new in this budget to hopefully help Canadians. So the Housing Accelerator Fund, and then this is again to build homes that hopefully people can buy. The federal government's goal is to incentivize cities and towns that are stepping up to get more housing built. So again, the federal government's not going to build homes, they're going to incentivize people. Budget 2022 proposes to provide $4 billion over 5 years starting in 2022 to 2023. And This will be done through Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. This is for home ownership, this Accelerator fund. Now, the next one down here, this new fund will target the creation of 100,000 net new housing units over the next 5 years. So we got a bunch of social spending, and we're talking about 3.5 million homes. And this is not when they talk about 3.5 million homes, they're not talking about creating homes for people to purchase. They're talking about just creating them, whether the rental, social, in different communities. But if you read this, if you unpack what they're actually saying, we have 100,000 new homes over the next 5 years that they're going to create. So let's double that till 2031, like they were saying with the other 3.5 million. So you're looking at a couple 100,000 units they're going to make for purchasing through CMHC and whatnot. The rest is social housing that you can't buy. You saw the main ongoing initiatives. They're gonna rent them. They're gonna do whatever, right? So, not a whole lot so far for the working class, middle class people looking to get into the housing market to own, to purchase. Let's see what else they got here. Helping Canadians buy their first home. So yeah, they're going to create a tax-free savings account, just like you would take your money from your RRSPs, and you have to pay it back in 15 years or whatever. Here it is. Budget 2022 proposes to introduce the tax-free first home savings account. Tax-free first home savings account. That would give prospective first-time home buyers the ability to save up to $40,000. All right, and they have an example here. Let's check out this example to see what exactly it is they're doing. And they have a little scenario. Matthew and Taryn, they're expiring homeowners living together, so 2 people. Starting in 2023, they save up $8,000 per year, the maximum you're allowed to save in this TFSA style account from their income. They both make between $50,000 and $100,000, and the tax-free first home saving account allows each to receive an annual federal tax refund of $1,640. So it's kind of like an RRSP. You put so much in, you get it back at tax time. So you're going to get back $1,640. They have a combined $90,000, including tax-free investment income, in their tax-free first home savings account by the end of 2027. So 5 years later, they have saved up their maximum allowable amount, and they got 90 grand in there. And they're going to use this to buy the house. So the government has given $8,200 towards this to match, or not even match, but as a tax credit, a refund on their annual income, and they've saved up this money. So let's put this into perspective. First of all, let's get into this home buyer's tax credit. So since 2009, Canada has had a $5,000 tax credit. So at the end of the year, you get a tax credit in your income tax, and it gets you, or it saves you, whether you're paying taxes or you're getting a return. It's about $750. They're going to double that to $10,000. So what that means is you're getting a $1,500 refund or credit at the end of the year. They're not giving you $5,000 or $10,000. It's actually, they're crediting it to you on your income tax. So it actually gets you, what it nets you on your tax bracket is about $750 for each $5,000. So now it's $1,500. So you're getting an extra $750, and this would apply to any homes built or purchased this year. And this is for first-time home buyers again. So since 2009, you can look at any part of this graph. You can look at 2017, whatever part. But I just wanted to go back to 2009 when this first started. So 2009, the average price was $240, and this is Ontario. This is my Ontario stats, and now it's $925. This doesn't include Toronto. This is pretty much all around Toronto, but this is what we have on my system, as I've mentioned in previous videos. So now we're going to the difference. We have a difference of $685,000 between the price in 2009 and today. Now let's credit you. We're going to credit you first, only first-time buyers, by the way. We're going to give you the $8,200 for the refund from your tax-free savings account for the home buyers, and we're going to give you the extra $750, right? So since 2009, this is the extras the federal government has given you. What is it, $9,000, just under $9,000? So prices have gone up $685,000 since 2009, but the government has given you an extra $8,200, or sorry, 9,000, just under 9,000, 8,200 plus the 750. That doesn't even cover the difference in land transfer tax. Land transfer tax in 2009 would have been $2,100. Now it's $14,975. This is going to do nothing. Prices have gone up $685,000 in Ontario. So now it's only hitting you at $676,000 after your TFSA and your tax credits. So it's really nothing. It's like minute. And it only targets first-time home buyers. Anyway, let's see what else. Let's see if there's anything substantial in this budget, because I don't think there is, but let's go through it. An extended and more flexible first-time home buyer incentive, which allows eligible first-time home buyers to lower their borrowing costs by sharing the cost of buying a home with the government. So there is a program right now where the government will loans you more of your down payment, and they own the home with you, and if you sell it before 25 years, you have to pay them back, and you have to pay them back their 5% of the cost of the home when you sell it, so not what they originally loaned you. So they're like co-investors with you. Which to me, like, I don't want to own a home with the government. Like, that's ridiculous. But anyway, so they're extending this program. It's not a new program. They're extending it for a few more years. They're supporting rent-to-own projects. I see a lot of renting stuff in here, and you can read through that, but it's rent-to-own it's not the greatest thing. Like, I have people ask me about it all the time, but it's usually in the landlord's or the owner's benefit. And I don't recommend it to people. Housing for Canadians, not big corporations. I like the sounds of this because I think the working class should be able to afford. Budget 22 announces a federal review. So it's nothing really substantial. They're going to review it. Further details on the review will be released later this year. So they're going to review, because there's a lot of big corporations and REITs. They're buying up residential properties for books of business. So they're going to review that and look at it, but there's no real action in here. Curbing foreign investment and speculation. So again, it does affect the big cities, but I don't think it's one of the major issues for real estate, the real estate prices and the unaffordability for real estate for Canadians. So they want to propose restrictions that would prohibit foreign commercial enterprises, so corporations and commercial enterprises, and people who are not Canadian citizens or permanent residents from acquiring non-recreational residential property in Canada for a period of 2 years. So they're banning non-Canadians, commercial enterprises, or permanent residents from buying houses. They can buy recreational properties. Maybe that means cottages. I believe it would. Commercial properties, industrial properties. So they're banning them from buying residential properties. Now, there's all sorts of loopholes in this, because you can have family members here buy them. You can put them in someone's name. So there's all sorts of different ways to acquire those properties. But anyway, so it will help a little bit, but that's not, again, where I'm from, it's not a major source of home buyers, foreign investors. Again, they're speculators usually in the big cities, especially Toronto and Vancouver. But again, these are not the major players purchasing most of the real estate. Most of those buyers are local or Canadian investors and end users. Making property flippers pay their fair share, subject to full taxation on their profits as business income. All they're doing with this is, instead of hardworking, I guess, property flippers, and it's not a bad thing, flipping properties. They're actually taking a distressed property, fixing it up, and selling it when it's renovated. They're improving neighborhoods, in my opinion. But anyway, so they want to tax. So instead of the flippers making the money for their hard work, they just want to take some of those profits and give it to the government. That's what tax is, right? So taxing people is gonna solve our housing problem. So of course the government, right? They love to tax. So let's tax people to make housing more affordable. And lastly, more taxing. So we're gonna tax assignment sales. So when you buy a new house, and it isn't built yet, and before it's built, you want to sell the contract. So they're saying, okay, let's tax those people. Some of them, they pull a fast one, but they want to tax everybody, so that, again, people are not making money from speculating from assignment sales, but the government's going to make the money now. So you could still speculate on an assignment, but you just can't make as much money because the government's going to take it. So maybe they should ban like assignment sales if they want to fix the problem, but they can't do that because they're going to hurt the housing industry. So again, more tax. So what we've seen in this budget is, to me, it looks like we've got about over 3 million proposed social housing units and a couple 100,000 units for end users, for middle class or whoever it is, people to buy. What do I take away from this budget? Well, I'm taking away it is a social spending budget. There's nothing in it for middle class Canadians. Even so, they have focused everything in here that is helping Canadians. It's only helping first-time buyers, and it's more than first-time buyers that are suffering these affordable housing issues. It's people like, I can give you numerous instances where, you know, it could be we've rented so many homes to people who get divorced. You get divorced or separated, or you're going through a life change. Let's rent a house for a year or two. All of a sudden you've rented a house, you can't get back into the market. So what about these people? And they have kids and whatnot. So, but here it's only first-time buyers. And I agree, first-time buyers need help, but so giving first-time buyers tax credits and refunds of $9,000 is going to help when prices have gone up hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is what this liberal or this government is saying right now, or they've suggested in their thing. The rest of the money, the majority, and again, the first on the list was the ongoing initiatives. There's really nothing new that's substantial in their budget. So at the end of the day, the facts are, through the last few years, the wealthy have got significantly more wealthy. The majority of the budget housing spending is for lower income families, and the working middle class are getting next to nothing in this budget. And these are the people, in my opinion, that need it. We always need social housing, and they've got lots of initiatives going on. But the middle class are left out of this budget, and they are the majority of Canadians. And there's little to nothing in here besides some incentives for first-time buyers and more tax for working people that are, whether they're flipping or whatever they're doing. So this budget, when it comes to housing, was a big flop, in my opinion. It's not going to fix anything. They're going to claim it did, the government, because right now the market is shifting, and next week, I'll get into next week in a second, but the market is shifting, and they're going to claim that they fixed it through these terrible Mickey Mouse initiatives, which I disagree with. But the market's already changing, so maybe they realize we don't have to do anything. Interest rates are going up, prices are going to come down, inventory is going to increase, and maybe that's their strategy. I think it's a weak budget, and yeah, let me know your opinion on what you think of the budget when it comes to housing in Canada. Next week, we're going to get into the mid-month statistics. They're looking pretty interesting, trending on the way that I thought they will, but we're going to see what happens. And tomorrow, or before then, tomorrow in my time right now when I'm making the video, we're going to have the Bank of Canada's interest rate announcement, which I think will be a very interesting one. So stay tuned next week, and we'll get into that and see how the market looks in the middle of April. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.